new pagans, get it? The element gods are punishing us. One day, paradise.
Oh, shut it. Waiting on paradise. Pathetic.
I agree. Dumb to wait for it. I've been there.
After 10 bottles, sure.
Here. Now. I'll tell you for a bottle.
Oh, get out of here.
Wait, this could be hilarious. Bottle after the story.
Deal. So, these events took place shortly after the end of the Civil War in 2025. I knew this guy on Old Mount Street in South Korean, by the former pool. He used to make his own moonshine, and let's say I got particularly bombed that night, and I got lost. Like, really lost. Ended up in a dark zone.
You're lying. You'd be dead.
Should be. But at some point, I fell down a hole and landed in water.
Water? Water?
Water! Even had fish in it and all.
The fuck?
I hadn't seen fish in forever. I decided to stay under. At least I'd die warm. And with my new fish friends. I was doing a pretty good job at my suicide. When suddenly, I was pulled out. His name was Magnus. A robe-wearing savior type. His group had been living down there since who knows when. Off the grid for years. Hadn't even heard of the renegades. They had UV lamps, a power generator. I met the children born there. No biomarkers.
How did they survive?
They'd formed their group around this natural underground pool. The pool was the center of everything. Even had religious rituals around it. And no infected. Paradise.
Toxins are forbidden, but I'll take whatever you're on.
The downworlders felt the same way. Cleansed me of toxins. Nursed me to health. No idea how long I spent there. But I swam in the pool every day. And then one day I dived deep in the pool and found a bunch of pipes and a giant pump system.
So, not a natural pool?
Clever boy. Only one place they could be pumping it in from. Villador's reservoir. I went to Magnus and confronted him. But he knew. Everyone knew. Downworlders don't concern themselves with what happens above, he told me. I begged him to change his views. To think about the kids. About all the people we could help with this much water. His face hardened. We shall never talk about this again. I knew things wouldn't be the same for me after this. People looked at me different. And indeed, a few days later, they came for me. I ran to the pool and jumped in. I had no idea what I was doing until I saw the valve handle for the pump. I turned it on full blast. The waters churned violently around me. I hit my head on something and blacked out. I woke up in the old Villador sewers. Paradise. Lost.
You drowned them? All?
People need to think about themselves to survive. But we won't survive if we only think about ourselves. Now, how about that bottle? My mother, she perished. I was only 1 year old, murdered by monsters, or so I was told. My peacekeeper father knew naught but to kill. The tough love he gave me left wounds that can't heal. Living on the rooftops of the world. Scavenging the ruins in search of a meaning, desperate for a sign that we're still human beings. My boyfriend, a scavenger, a dark zone is his tomb. The one thing he gave me now grows in my womb. And oh, my poor child, poison rains from the sky. What word can I give you when we're all born to die? Living on the rooftops of the world we have lost, fleeing or killing to survive at all costs, scavenging the ruins in search of a meaning, desperate for a sign that we're still human beings. Desperate for any sign that we're still human beings.
Is Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Today, Sarah has a story to share with us. Sarah, please begin.
When I got here in 2024, I was young. All my short life, I'd lived in this little town. But eventually, like everyone else, I had to flee. And we heard the Villador was still taking people in, so we walked for 40 days and 40 nights. When we got here, they had just closed the gates. So we camped outside the walls like thousands of other people. Infected swarmed us. We fought them off with rocks during the day. At night, they got more dangerous. Sometimes a sniper on the walls would have mercy and help. Eventually, some guy showed up. Told us he'd smuggle us in through the sewers. As soon as we got past the wall, he disappeared with all our stuff. Then a patrol caught us. Packed us in a truck, laughing that they were taking us to the mosh pit. That's what they called the refugee camp at the stadium. We slept on pallet beds. Everyone fit for work dug latrines. And graves. 1 meal a day. No blankets. We were sick for almost a month. Then Jake got jaundice. Don't know where they buried him. Just me and a 3-year-old son. One night, power went out in the entire stadium. Black as the grave. There were 15,000 people there, without UV light. Panic broke out. I took Ben and started to run. We fought through the crowd. And then I heard noises, like fireworks. People started to point at something. I looked and saw some buildings spewing this yellow cloud. And these things flying over the city like giant bees. Black Monday. January 6th, 2025. They started dropping chemical bombs, that yellow dust everywhere. The whole camp started to run. I got knocked to the ground and I lost track of Ben. I was screaming his name, but the crowd was so thick. I remember people pushing me into the street. I remember the smell of fear filling the air.
The sky covered in a yellow haze. I blacked out. I woke up at dusk, alone, on an empty roof, between mangled bodies. I heard the infected feeding on corpses. I thought I would never see my son Ben again. I searched corpses for a week, looking for the body of my 3-year-old son. Then, somebody told me the local priest was keeping a list of people who were missing and had been found.
Carl.
Turned out that Ben had been found by a couple in the stadium crowd when we were pushed into the street.
It's okay, hun. Let it out.
When I found him, I thought I would die from joy. We had survived. That's what mattered. We survived.